Hello, Kalu Kalay. How are we doing today? My name is Notepad Anon and I write games for fun. But what are we doing today? Today we're gonna be working on combat. Yeah, it's combat day, everybody. Combat day is always interesting for any of these games because every single time something goes wrong. Something goes wrong on combat day. And today was no different. More accurately, it's just been late and I had to write lore. I've told people this for... It's that I don't like writing lore. I've never been a big fan of writing lore unless I have a really strict idea with it. But I ended up writing some lore. It's only a few pages, not usual. So a future without a hope, a past without a future, the Diesel War, the Vatican disaster, the era of the manifestation. And we brought in Susanoo, and the Freedom Alliance. And we have our Pope in the Latin pontificate. Pope Rex, literally Pope King, because I thought that was funny. It was originally Augustus, but I changed the German emperor's name to Augustus. So it ended up being Augustus. I'm like, people are going to get confused with that. So I said Pope Rex, because Rex is an actual Latin name. So we have Pope Rex the First. Yeah, a little bit goofy on here. The plot's a little silly, but I also had to write in total chrono eradication because I just made a very goofy plot because the year is 3265. And then we went back in time to save President Lincoln and do things because I could do that. Welcome to... I don't like writing plot. I don't like writing lore. I've told people this before. Why are you suddenly broken? What's going on here? You aren't supposed to be broken. The footer got added again. What's going on here? You were fine the other day. What's... You were fine the other day. Okay, let's do a little bit of schmoozing around a little bit. Yeah, I wonder what happened there. I don't know what went on, but things got moved around when they shouldn't. I might have moved him on accident. But yes, I added some artwork. Got some I can't believe it's not Indiana Jones. We've got our captain here. Of course, we've got a classic femme. We got a femme fatale. We've got a explorer man, detectives, the usual assortment of pulpy heroes and such. But yes, so we've got pretty much all the lore explanations we need for things, and that doesn't matter. So now we have to do combat. So. Well, you did say that things break in Combat Day. Exactly. Combat Day falls apart. Also, before I begin, I would like to thank Dialoth, or Diolith, or Dialoth, or whatever the hell your name is. Thank you very much for following and subscribing with Prime. Yes, we've got a subscribe with Prime as well. Let me see. Can I be fancy with this? No, I cannot. It won't let me. It won't let me do this. God damn it. Damn. It won't let me show the funny meme tiger. But regardless, thank you. Thank you very much. We are 298 followers. Yes. And apparently, I did get shared around on Kiwi Farms today. People did share me on Kiwi Farms. So, thank you all for supporting me if you did show me on Kiwi Farms. Very cool. It was in a good way, too. That's the worst part. It was in a good way that I was put in there. Ah, God. Let me just readjust my life. So, Combat Day. Let's get to it. So, combat is going to be a little weird, and that's for a few different reasons. So let me open up my Let me open up my Miro. Hello, Miro. I love Miro. Go away. So with combat, if we go up here, generally speaking, it's going to be zone-based. That's one thing we have to talk about, is the idea of being zone-based. And I want combat to be pretty easy. Ranged weapons are going to be just a raw check. And ranged weapons are just going to be legitimately a check for bonus damage. It's, you are within sight, I can see you, I'm going to take my gunslinger, plus whatever my thing is. I'll probably change it per time before the gun. And I'm going to take all my dice, and I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to shoot you. If you're standing in optimal range, just out in the open, they're going to roll a bunch of dice. And every hit, they're going to do a base damage if they end up hitting, and then every bonus SL they end up scoring is going to be bonus damage against you. And remember, they can still call critical rolls. GM can't really, but yeah, you get the idea. Is you can still call critical rolls. So if I rolled, let's say I rolled 66 here, and I rolled 2 6s. I actually rolled 3 6s. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would be 6 extra damage, which is pretty fucking bad. Plus whatever the base damage is. So in combat, in like actual like gunfights and such, the goal is to get behind cover. You want to get behind cover, you want to be out of range, you want to kind of get the drop on enemies, you want to get things like that. With the idea being is being more difficult to hit makes it a lot less likely that they're going to score a lot of successes on you, and in some cases they're just outright going to just be unable to hit you. Like, hey, you're completely out of range and you're behind really heavy cover. That 7 successes might get turned down to 1 success, or no successes even, and they just didn't score any bonuses on you. They've got no bonuses, they haven't even hit you. So that's kind of the idea of combat, is most likely you will get hit, or bullets are gonna strike near you, you think you're gonna get scraped or something, you're gonna get hit. But they're also gonna get hit very easily as well. So it's like, I want combat to have a good beat to it, and that's kind of the goal there. Melee attacks are most likely going to be retaliatory. I'm going to take my combat, you're going to take yours, we're going to both roll, and we're going to see who has the most successes, and that's going to do the damage. I think retaliatory melee is a good idea, because it encourages characters who go down the two-fisted brawler route are going to do a hell of a lot better being in the fight than someone who isn't. And that gives them a unique opportunity is, hey, you're in a fight, you are currently fist fighting one another. Getting the fuck out of dodge is going to be a lot more difficult. It's going to be like, hey, I want to stop this person from getting away from me. I'm going to beat the shit out of them. I can fight, and trying to fight them is now a lot harder. Fighting them is now, oh no, I'm going to get my shit beat because this guy's just a better fighter than me. So, hey, what can I do to get around this? Oh no, this guy's totally a better fighter than me. Fuck. Start using tricks and start using plays and gambles and things like that. I think that's going to bring out combat a little bit more, give it a little bit more nuance without really bulking it up with a million different ideas. I think that's going to be one key thing, is I don't want a million different situations, because that's going to bog things down, and I don't want things to get bogged down because we already have a lot of things to do. The character themselves already has a lot of toys to play with. They can tap cohesion, they can tap quirks, they can do a bunch of different things. We're not going to worry about that as much. We want to get things flowing as fast as physically. This game isn't actually even that large. It's 22, and mind you, we're not even close to being done. We're not even close to being done yet. However, we are making progress though. So let's get to it. During their mercenaries are not all are always expected to have some combat experience. Oh, let's see. Mercenaries are always expected to have some combat experience, allowing them to throw a punch or shoot a gun at an approaching At an approaching Metal Knight. At an approaching Metal Knight, trying to chop them to pieces. Try to chop them to pieces. A mercenary during their mission to the Latin pontificate. Let's see. During their mission to the Latin pontificate, the mercenaries will engage in a variety of physical conflicts. Physical conflicts, putting their life on the line. Putting their life on the line in exchange for... Putting their life on the line in a series of, in a deadly dance of, and the deadly dance of carnage. In the deadly dance of carnage, because that's a weird way of wording that. How do I want to word? So, if we go all the way up here to combat, basics of combat. So we just open up being like, what's the nature of combat? Okay. So we're going to start with, how do we want to do this? So I think we should start with, so we just want to plan this out a little bit. We start with battlefield. Actually zoning the battlefield. We explain zones a little bit. Click on the draw, which is going to be initiative. Then we're going to, so we've discovered what the battlefield's like. We know who's going to be acting first and in what order. We should do, actually, we can do, not superiority. We'll do momentum. We'll do, momentum. Then we do into actions of combat. Taking damage. Actually, I should do goons. So we're going to probably I need to put a side note about goons. Goons and troopers. Pretty much, they're not going to take any, like, the second their health is reduced to 0, they just go down. That's the kind of the idea there. They don't really have any, they don't take wounds. So then we apply conditions. Actually, we should taking damage types, and then we do conditions. These are what we need to do. Sounds a little goofy, but goofy is what we do best. So So what's this? This is a commission project called Brave New World. And I do expect you to say it like that as well. This is a commission project I ended up getting paid for. Kind of pulpy, a little bit of diesel punk in there. Little bit of everything in there. So it's kind of 1930s diesel punk technology stuff, and the lore is a little bit goofy. Magic is also involved. But hey, we love magic. Currently, we're using a D6 dice pool system. odds and evens because I think it's cool, and I really like the ubiquity system, and I think the ubiquity system kind of got a little bit fucked over there in the grand scheme of things. Various art pieces. So we're doing, today is combat day, so get ready for some two-fisted struggles, otherwise known as I'm gonna just drink a lot of coffee and stare at the screen for trying to zone out Battlefield stuff. If you have any questions, feel free to ask as always. RPG, as always, tabletop role-playing game. You take the role of a bunch of mercenaries being drafted into the Latin pontificate, run by an evil anti-pope who probably wants to use magic to summon Satan. It's up to you. Yes, this is a tabletop role-playing game. Every battlefield, no. Actually, South America is filled with a variety of dangerous locales, and the mercenaries will often find themselves in the most harrowing of situations to battle it out. When a fight breaks out, the announcer will draw up the map in a series of zones. Each zone is represented. Each zone. Oh, thank you very, very much for following. There we go. There we go. We're doing it. We're making it, boys. Each zone represents. Also, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask. I'm always available. Each zone represents a particular area in the location. This could be open areas, hallways, rooms. That was the Kino RPG you were reading last night. Ah, yes. That one. We were reading a game last night. No hate toward this person, but I don't believe English is their first language. And we read it, and we learned a lot about ourselves. It was very rough to read. It was very fascinating, though. We learned a lot. What's the gun equivalent of sword and board? Probably, if you were to... It kind of depends on where you go, really. If you were to ask, like, what's the most, like, generic, like, if you were to say, like, oh, what's the gun of it? It would probably be, like, a handgun. Like a Glock. It's kind of like when they say, like, ah, yes, this assault rifle. Or, oh, yes, this Glock. Everything is a Glock and everything is an assault rifle. I don't think there's, like, a universal armament sense. Each zone in particular in the locations could be open fields, hallways, rooms, or even subsections of a subsection that the battle is taking place in. How do I want to word this? Each zone is connected to one another and has a size. It has a size. The zone size indicates how many combatants can fit inside of that area, as well as what else could be in that zone. Nervosa game. So all zones are connected to each other somewhat. If I were to draw a nice little map of, like, let me see if I can find the Let's see, Soulbound combat map. This is a very terrible map, but effectively in Soulbound, which I kind of Cubicle 7 in general, this is what I mean. They're technically all like linked to one another. Even though it's like, oh, I want to go to zone 1, you can only move to zone 2 or 3. You're in zone 4, 3, 2, you get what I need to probably read that a little bit. I don't use zone combat very often. Being frank with everybody, I don't use zone combat very often. It's not usually my thing, so I don't usually explain it all that well. So, let's check. Each zone is connected. It has a side. Zones connected to another implies they're all connected and can travel between all. Sides and can't commence inside of the area as well as what else could be in that. Put in the size category. We put the size categories right there. Zones may have a number of conditions. May have a number of. Thank you very much for following. Nervosa Games. Thank you very much for following. Dunkashan. Zones may have a number of features. Let's see, change the nature of the combat as well as those inside of the zone. These zones may have a number of features inside of them which change the nature of the combat as well as those inside of the zone. Now, let's see. Whenever combat enters a zone, they are always affected by any of the features present, such as it being a flame, or actually, such as it being a flame, or having gravity be or having distorted gravity. But actually, but here's what we can do. We do that, dangerous locales, bunch of situations. We're going to add in our little table right here. So we're going to add in sizes if we want to be. I have a name for these already. Give me my names, because I'm really bad with names. If you really must know, I don't actually deal... Actually, I completely forgot that wasn't a table. Because I made it a table in the other one. That's what I'm talking about. Working with here. Tell me my size. Tell me my size. Tell me. See, I always get self-conscious when a lot of people watch, because I'm usually open. Always forget the goddamn infinity symbols. I know the infinity symbol fucking has an alt code, but I never remembered the damn alt code. I'm very bad with alt codes. probably shrink that down. Something like this. Actually, no. Wide 3, and then narrow is going to be 2. You can fit 2 people inside of a very narrow area. You can, in a wide area, fit about 4 people. Open area can kind of fit as many people as you want. That's very easy to understand, nice and simple, so we don't have to think about it. Because, God... People keep telling me zones are like super easy to work with. They're like the super easy, super solution to all of life's problems. Just use zones, man. Just use zones. Never internalize them as well. Maybe I've been reading too many Japanese games. You know, Japanese games don't actually use zones all that often. Fun fact. Oh God, people are judging my wording already. I've barely even started. When we come out, they are immediately affected by any of the features present as being blamed for having distorted gravity. How do I want to word this? Objects in a zone. Objects in a zone are interactable. Are interactables. Let's see, objects in the zone are interactables unique to that area, such as explosive barrels, or what would be another good, like a good option? Actually, explosive. Let's see, interactables, explosive barrels, or market stalls. The combatant can use the interact action. Can use the interact action to manipulate these, or you can use an action. Use in action. I should just use an action, not interact, because you probably don't want to just like poke the explosive barrel. That doesn't sound like a bad idea. Combatant can use an action to interact with these objects. They become objects. Combatant can use an action to interact with these objects. Allowing for predetermined effects to take place. Allowing for, actually, I should say for a variety of effects. Effects to take place. Let's see. These could reposition a. These could reposition a mercenary in different areas. To a different area, to a different zone. They would not be able to reach naturally. These could reposition a mercenary to a different zone, could not reach naturally, or cause a new feature to affect the. So that's not going to fit, so I'm not going to try. So if I probably. Combat day always sucks. That's always that's my usual thing. Combat day is a pain. Because usually with combat day, what you gotta do is there's just a lot of things to suddenly matter. And you don't like dealing with all of them, because every single time something is wrong. Why don't we shrink this down? If we shrink this down, we can move this over here a little bit more. And if we move things over a little bit, bada bing, bada boom, everything's a little bit more in order. There we go. Pump you up. Probably not. But let's just keep it like this. We do table properties. Everything's centered because we like centering things. Go to middle. Sorry if I'm not paying attention immediately. This is called Notepad is entering focus mode, where he has to get really precise about things. So, let's see. So we can move. Explain what a zone is. We explain the number of. We need to explain features in a zone and how objects work. Now we need to give some people some examples. So if we give some people examples, we put an image right down here. If we put an image right here, then on the next page we can give a variety of examples for the zones in a two-layer table. Actually, can we fit? We can't really fit this perfectly, but we try. The exact size of these things again. I love Google Docs so much. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. Da-dum. People are... Oh, God. I still remember the threat the commission you to make a penultimate Steven Universe to jump to the combatants and mercenary with the same definition. Mercenary is actually a term for PCs. That's one of the big things. Make it so we can resurrect manually so we can shoot him again, even if you call Phoenix down. No! Actually, here, let me double check. These could reposition A. Finally. Fuck it, I'll do it. Combatant. I should use the term mercenary for everything, but I want to make sure that you understand that NPCs can also do these things, which is very important. So we need to do zone features. So let's think about what kind of features we're going to be working with immediately. No. Oh, fuck, goddamn. I know what we need to go to not make it 2, we need to make it 3 at this point. Then we have to start explaining. Let's see, we're going to explain, we need to explain cover. We need to explain hazardous terrain. We need to explain cover, hazardous terrain. We need to explain, actually at that point we can just give a list of zone condition, a list of zone features. Then we give a list of, then we give the list of, zone objects. Just an example list of zone objects. Because again, you can interact with anything. I don't know what game you're going to be playing, so I'm going to give you exactly what you need and very little else. So, we're going to start with cover. One of the most valuable features a zone can offer is cover. Features, capitalizing features. Features the zone can offer is cover. When the guns start, when the ring of gunshots begin, the only safe place is behind something. Cover will improve the defense of the defense. Will improve. What do I want to? I need to explain cover early, but if I explain cover early, that's going to make things harder to explain later because we want to do it the idea of. Effectively, how combat's going to work is you're going to take a number of d6s. In range combat, it's going to be 1. Everything's going to be difficulty 1. The target number to hit you is 1. If you're in cover, the target number actually increases. So if you're in really good cover, all of a sudden, it's really hard to hit you. Every combatant has a See, part of me wants to call it like a defense rating of 1, but this is the first time I'd be mentioning defense, unless I retroactively add it in. Actually, when in a zone with the cover feature, the combatant will improve. The combatant will become harder to target, and in turn damage. This will increase the difficulty in which to hit them with any ranged attack. Which hit them with any ranged attack aimed at them. Difficulty in which to hit with ranged attacks aimed at them. Yeah, no, that works. So this is the very basic idea, you know. Features: the combatant will become harder to hit and in turn damage. This will increase the difficulty in which to hit with ranged attack aimed at them. Yeah, no. Cover is not applied. This cover is not applied to any combatant inside of the same zone, representing meaning that being let's see. Cover is not applied to any combatant inside of the same zone. Meaning close range, meaning point blank gunfights. Don't benefit, Cover is not applied to any combatant inside the same zone, nor does it affect. Let's see, nor does it affect. Cover is not applied to any combatant inside the same zone, nor does it affect melee. Melee attacks against the target. Also melee attack target, so that means we're going to have to. I understand why I fucking hate writing. Fuck me. When it's targeted by a ranged attack by another combatant within the same zone, can never benefit from cover. Yeah, pretty much. That's why it's just like, I want to make a very specific note about ranged attacks here, because if you do an area of effect attack, then yeah, cover ain't gonna do jack shit. Yeah, sorry, I'm throwing a grenade at you. Sorry, you're behind cover. Yo, this ain't gonna do much for you. Or like, hey, I'm using a magic ability to do that. It's like, very precise attacks might ignore cover, but cover is not applied to any combatant inside the same zone. Nor does it have any effect on those in melee. Nor does it have any effect on those in melee. No. Keep it simple. And now we have to explain this chart, because this chart's not easy. Actually, this would be defense. Probably have to reword this bit. So no cover. That means a DN of 1. You legitimately, all you need to do when I have a gun, I'm aiming at you, I'm within range, I have no cover, you have no cover, I'm going to shoot, I need to roll 1 success. I need to roll 1 success, and any bonus SL I get is going to go straight to damage as well. So I'm going to shoot you with my revolver, it's going to do 3 damage, I roll, I've done 1, 2, 3, I got 3 successes, that means 2 SL, I've done 5 damage to you. Bang, I've shot you. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Big dice pools mean a lot of damage potentially. Or you can say, I'm going to make it a critical roll so I can actually just do more damage against it. This would be obscuring. Obscuring would be 2. Light cover would be 3. Heavy cover would be 4. So yes, heavy cover is very valuable. Actually, we can probably make heavy cover 5. Actually, what we can do if we want to make this a little bit easier to read. Oh God, please stop fighting me. Out in the open, out in the open, out in the open, out in the open, obscuring, behind a window, dense foliage, behind a window, dense foliage, light cover would be something that can go through, so if I, no, it's not what I need fucking cover, which game does cover really well? Scheiße, I don't use cover. There's a very particular reason I don't use cover very often, and I don't do things like this, because I always feel like I need to add in a fuck ton of little details. Where did I put mine? Technically, Hearts of Darkness is the notes, but that's not quite what I want to... No. Hearts of Valkyria would have it. Hearts of Valkyria would have my examples. What are my good examples? Yep, light cover, defense TN3, very easy to do. Yo, cover is very simple to understand, nothing too complicated there. Hey, for what was the naming thing of royal fascism? Technically, what I ended up doing for the lore is that there was a note in the lore that effectively everything started turning to like monarcho-fascism. So I ended up just doing that. So it's technically restorationists. It's the restorationist movement. That's the entire idea. And everyone's like, oh, you're a restorationist. You want to effectively go full-on hyper-monarchy. That's cool. See, so cover is probably the most valuable. Cover inside the same sound range stacks. Actually, area of effect weapons as well. Actually, no. Worry about that. I can just put that as a note for the combat section. If I just ignore problems, I don't have to think about problems. So we want to do dangerous and no, what do we want to do? Not unstable. Difficult terrain. Difficult terrain. One kind. Another common zone feature is difficult terrain. Difficult terrain. Not every battlefield will be a simple endeavor. Let's see. Not every battlefield will be a flat field. Not every battlefield will be a flat field with ideal conditions. Many place in uneven terrain or outright deadly situations that force the mercenaries to think around the problems before them. Whenever a combatant enters a zone with a difficult terrain modifier, with a difficult terrain feature. If I can remember all the fucking terms I've introduced already. Whenever a combatant enters a zone with a difficult terrain feature, they will immediately actually when enters or begins their whenever a combatant enters a zone with a difficult terrain feature, enters a zone or begins the round in a zone with a difficult terrain feature, they will take an amount of physical stress. They'll take an amount of physical stress equal to the what am I fucking goddamn it? Danger synonym. Hazardous. There we go. Equal to the hazard rating of the zone. Willingly or not, or begins around the difficult terrain, rating of the zone. Physical stress and the hazard rating of the zone, which we immediately select to this. None. Physical stress, none. Actually, since we don't really need actually, we should put this in here. Actually, no, we should do hazardous terrain. Hazard rating, physical stress, example. Actually, no, we want to do wooden floors, open fields, just something good. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. It's grassy fields, wooden floors and grassy fields. So we want to do hazard rating would be physical stress 2. Jagged rocks, and let's see, jagged rocks and thick mud. Because physical stress isn't just like you're taking damage, it's just you being more susceptible to taking a bigger hit. That's kind of the idea. Yeah, that's kind of like one of the major ideas, is you your physical stress going down is just more like you're just being closer and closer to taking a bad wound. If you enter a difficult terrain and you have 0 physical stress, yeah, you're gonna take a wound. You're gonna step on something you shouldn't have, or you're not gonna be paying attention, or you're like, ow, I am oof. And then you step down, and then you have a jagged rock go through your foot, and you're like, yeah, this is bad. I am in extreme pain. What would be, actually, no, dangerous terrain. That would be 4 physical stress. Actually, this would be, let's see. Dangerous. What would we escalate that to actually no, what we can do is we can do difficult, precarious. Dangerous is going to be 6, which is really fucking bad, by the way. You do deathly. We'll keep it with deadly. Deadly is going to escalate to 8. Pretty much, if you are hitting 8, actually, no, we can even escalate that even further. Why don't we do, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. We do 2, double it. So it's like, don't enter the, don't, A time distortion, deadly, flowing lava, Let's see, flowing lava. What would be another terrible area that would be like, oh, this is an acidic lake. Like, you could wade in there for a bit, but not very long. Deadly would be, you're in the flowing lava, you get 1. Like, yeah, you're going to start almost immediately taking wounds, and you can last in there for a bit, but that's like you being, like, clearly injured by it. There we go. Pit of razors. Razor blades, or something like that. I don't know. I'm winging it. So we got zoning the battlefield, cover hazardous terrain. We'd probably put an image right there. So what we need to do is we need to do not every feature will be exceedingly common. Not every feature will be common. Not every feature will be common or need to be immediately addressed by the announcer. However, there will always be, actually, I should say unstated features. However, I can fucking spell. However, there will always be features that are unstated. That are unstated by the announcer, or by the announcer. These will be situational. These will be situational that can develop as the battle unfolds or actions are taken. We'll do, for example, being in a wooden house would be an unstated feature, but should someone throw a fireball inside of it, most of the zone will be aflame very quickly. Actually, we would be would be precarious hazard rating due to the flames. Another example would be a fist fight. Would be a fist fight in an airplane. Would be a fist fight in an airplane if someone opens the door mid-fight. Mid-flight. This creates a new feature that was previously unstated. Notably, the rapid depressurization of the cabin and the plane going down. There we go. It's kind of like a little bit of a, hey, not everything is going to be immediately dictated to you. You don't need to say the house is wooden, that is a feature. You don't need to say that. It's an unstated feature. But if someone throws fire at the wooden thing, it's going to light on fire. That's something that's stated. If someone opens the door of the airplane, you don't need to say the door is, no, you don't need to say that. It's like, yeah, okay, the plane's going to start going wrong. What I should say is, let me do example features. Example features. Let's see. Can I get lucky? I can get lucky if I do some finagling. So we want to do some example features. Quicksand, raging river. Yeah, you're seeing the idea there. So basic example features would be so what would be some good zone features? TTRPG. I've always, the thing is, zones always fuck me up because I don't use zones very often. I usually use action maps for most things. These action maps are something I can have a lot of control over. And if I can have a lot of control over something, that means I don't have to think about it too hard. But the zones are a little bit different. I can't even remember the last game I really used zones in. Let me see. I mean, I've got to be no, clearly not, no. No. Well, sort of, but no. I guess Project Inchling was... I guess on Inchling I use zones. No, actually I didn't even use zones. I used the space distance system, which I believe I redid, which I believe I actually redid entirely because it was kind of bad. Yeah, I feel like I already wrote this before, but I guess I actually haven't. I have not actually wrote a zone-based system in a while. Boy, oh boy. Alright. Okay, I can do this. So example features of what could be going wrong. Let's say, let's list off some examples. What could possibly going wrong? Quicksand, that's a good one. Raging river. Actually, no, we can do flowing, actually, no, like a flowing river. We could do no, raging river. We'll keep it with raging river. Raging river, quicksand, raging river, we're just doing basic examples of what could possibly be going wrong in our current state of affairs. Oh, underwater, that's a very good one. Aerial's another very good one. What would be, we want to do, Let's see, what would happen in the cabin? What would be going on? It would be jostling, it would be shaking, it would be unsure footing. Mm, 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 full of quicksand. It's full of quicksand. Every action by the mercenary. Actually, a TN. It would be a TN4, a TN5. A check is needed to escape the quicksand. Let's see, TN5 is needed to escape the quicksand naturally, but every action, actually no, they cannot move out of the zone. They cannot move out of the zone. They cannot move out of the zone. And every action they perform, reduces hazard rating by one step. TN5 to escape naturally, but an ally in an adjacent zone may assist. Zone raging river, the zone of a raging part of a raging river. The flow of the zone is that at the end of the round, the mercenary will go to the adjacent river zone. Adjacent river zone. So it's pretty much like you're moving zones kind of without your consent. From weird gravity. Are at target number +2. Actually, all checks are at target number 2. As they attempt to adjust to the new gravitational field underwater. Let's see, as the zone is completely submerged, the mercenary can hold their breath for, it would be body turns before they begin to drown, turning it into deadly terrain. Aerial. The zone is in the air. The zone is in the air. The mercenary, without being able to fly, will fall at the end. Fall at the end of the round. If they fall. Let's see. If they fall. Actually, every quote aerial zone. They fall before hitting the ground. Ground deals an additional plus 1d6 physical stress. So if you fall 3 aerial zones, you would deal 3d6 physical stress damage. Actually, no, it would be actually no, we'll do additional 2d6 plus 2d6 physical stress. So if you fall 3 zones, that's gonna be 66 damage. Like, you ain't gonna live that much. You aren't gonna have a good time. Shaking. As violent shaking, making getting sure footing much harder. inside the zone. Well, let's see. Yeah, they cannot perform any reaction. Pretty much, you can't defend yourself very well while it's shaking because you're trying to keep your fucking footing. Darkness. The zone is pitch black. It's considered to have. Let's see. It's considered to have. Let's see. Its zone is pitch black. It's considered to have heavy cover. But all actions requiring sight are at negative what would be what's the fucking term I used? Uh-oh. Are at negative are at have actually once right have 4 negative twists. Pretty much, you have -4 dice to do anything, which is really bad, by the way. Like, yeah, it's like you can do things. It's just anything requiring sight is you're going to pretty much automatically fail it, like unless you are really good at it. So these are just some example features. Oh, I'm hearing a Manly show up. Hello, Manly. Hello, Manly. No, my bravest co-pilot. Laps a very trophy building. Actually, I know what we can do. I know a very good one. The zone is completely collapsing. I heard something. The zone is completely collapsing. In the zone at the end of whoever's in the zone at the end of the round will fall to the zone below, taking 3d6 physical stress from the impact. So it's like, oh no, okay, the zone is collapsing, we need to get out of Dodge, so we need to leave. Oh no, the temple is collapsing. Oh no, something is collapsing. Oh no, we need to leave as fast as physically possible. What would be some other good ones? Do we have any good ones? Quicksand collapse, building collapse, rock slides. Yeah, okay. So these are some good old example features that we can always use for things. So we do cover. So so next we need to talk about objects. Objects are items and interactable spread across the zones that perform a function. Form a function when interacted with. The various interactions possible depend on the objects. But normally, let's see. The various interactions possible depend on the objects, which the announcer will dictate if they are unique in some manner. However, if the mercenary or any other combatant uses an object, its effects will trigger, allowing them to its effects will trigger, which will change the nature of the battlefield, or the positions of various position of other. Let's see. Yeah, so it's kind of like interact with objects. They're not very, like, I don't want to be, like, really specific with them, and I'm not trying to be like, I'm just lazy and I don't want to write them in. It's like, I just don't know what the fuck you want to put in. Actually, can do is... explosive barrels, chandelier, chandelier. So, explosive barrels, precarious red barrels. Let's see, precarious red barrels line the area in a zone. If shot at, or in the blast radius of an explosive, they will detonate. Each they will all combatants in the zone will take 4d6 physical stress as the explosion rocks the area. Chandelier. Let's see. A well-placed chandelier. Chandelier is begging for a an acrobatic mercenary to leap upon it to find themselves across the hall, across the opera hall to the opposite zone immediately. Opposite zone quickly. Market stomp. And there we go, granting the user light cover. So it's kind of like you create new conditions, you're doing something different. What would be another, actually, so what would be another, trying to think, a solid snow globe. Would probably hurt if thrown directly at someone's head. Chronovile. Actually, manifested object. In object of congealed time, which can, which a particularly inclined magician could use to roll in additional +2d to all of their next magic spell, to their next the next use of a spell. There we go. Objects similar to unstated objects are deliberately, let's see, objects are items and strewn about locales inside of zones that allow the mercenaries and their enemies to interact with the battlefield in different ways, placing a variety of objects. Some objects can be easily stated as presents, such as the explosive barrels, or chandelier to particular effects. These should be stated at the start of the combat. Let's see. These should be stated at the start of the combat to highlight their unique nature. Many objects are not easily stated, and a clever mercenary can turn any item into a useful, into a handy tool in a moment. The announcer doesn't need to state that the snow globe is an object. The mercenary can quickly ask if there is a solid object nearby for confirmation, before throwing it at the head of an encroaching inquisitor. Kind of the idea with objects, what I want to get across is that objects are there for reasons. Actually, I should say, objects don't always have particular objects should grant a bonus to using them, such as damage. Let's see. Objects should grant a bonus when to using. Grant small but noticeable benefits to using them. These most flat twists should be +2 to +3 bonus die, while others can move between zones, act as new features in a zone. Or interact with actions during combat. Having it in emplacement, using the MG emplacement. A heavy machine gun is set up is set up here while it can't be dislodged. So some bullets left to fire in it. The machine gun nest. Using the machine gun in place. Using the machine gun nest grants a new method to attack. Let's see, grants a new method to attack while the snow globe may be the only thing to assist an unarmed mercenary in a pinch. Kind of like the thing that I want to kind of like discuss with objects are like, these are things that are useful for you and you should use them as such. Like, don't be like, they're not going to solve the situation. Like, yeah, actually I should say it. So let's see, solve an encounter. These will never completely solve an encounter, but clever uses and gambles may make a simple effect, but clever uses and gambles may make a dangerous battle to the death a simple affair. Kind of the idea. Placing that. We've kind of explained how zones work. And remember, this is just fucking zones. We still have all this other shit to do. Great. Love it. Crucifix. That's the crucifix. Yeah, no, Lubu, you're seeing what I want them to be like. It's like, haha, I've pulled out an object in an area which is valuable, and we can use this now. Or hey, we are fighting a demon. How do we fight the demon? Well, we're gonna use this crucifix, and now I have this crucifix in my hand, and it doesn't like the crucifix, so I'm gonna use that to ward off a fucking demon. Okay, like, you've changed the battlefield. You don't need to use the crucifix. You can still just gun that thing down. But it's going to be a lot harder. And but use your environment. And what I'm trying to get across here as well for GM, for the announcer and such, is make a battle more than just a bunch of zones. Litter objects in them. Create situations. How do we change the field? How do we change things? What will the enemies do with this information? Or when in doubt, just put more red barrels around. Ain't a beauty. Run a good shot can help him mold out stuff at the wall. Are you ready to take the shot? What? Ow. What the fuck? Okay. Let's see. Quick on the draw. Wait. Oh. Bye, Manly. Goodbye. Manly's fucking dead. When a battle kicks off. We'll see. When a battle kicks off, the mercenaries and the enemies, let's see. Actually, no. The mercenaries and their enemies will need to determine their initiative. Their initiative order. Actually, I know what we can do here. We can actually make this a little bit more interesting. Here's what we're going to put this up here. We're going to do this. We'll put momentum first. Momentum is the flow of, let's see. Momentum is the flow of combat. Forcing both sides of a conflict to, let's see, momentum is the flow of combat, forcing both sides of the conflict to Actually, let's see. Momentum is the flow of combat, a back and forth of who has the advantage and who is struggling to survive. Who is struggling to survive? Seizing the momentum is pivotal to the victory. Seizing the momentum is pivotal to victory against overwhelming odds, but it may be the death, may be the doom of the unprepared. At the start of combat, both sides will determine their momentum. Both sides will determine their momentum. This represents the ferocity and planning what the both sides possess. Ferocity and planning both sides possess, which will turn the tide of the battle. Turn the tide of battle in one direction. Actually, I should say, momentum can go as high as 5 or as low as -5. Represent -5. Whenever the let's see. If the mercenaries have a, let's see, the mercenaries are often the ones on the offense, needing to plan ahead for larger assaults against positions or a military force that is larger than them. If the they can naturally they are able to build their momentum. They are able to build their momentum more readily before the first shot is even fired. If the mercenaries learn details about their target, such as through an investigation angle, they will increase their momentum by 1 for the upcoming fight. If the should the team let's see, it would be, we want to learn more about them so we know what we're getting into. We want to fire the first shot. No, it's we want to fucking let's see. Should the team research the surrounding area? Should research the surrounding area. Should research the surrounding area and plan their assault. They will also increase their superiority. Not superior. It also increase their momentum by 1. Finally, if the mercenaries use a variety of tactics, plans or raw shock and awe, they will have their final they'll have their final advantage of final advantage of momentum. In case you're wondering, yeah, Imperial Maledictum was fucking great. I really like that aspect of Imperial Maledictum, so that's what we're using. Finally, Immersion Variety Tactics plans are raw, shock, and awe. They hold their final advantage of momentum by one as well. If the mercenaries plan completely ahead, they'll have momentum +3 over their opponent, over their enemies. Should their foes be prepared for an attack, prepared for an attack, or being attacked on, let's see, prepared for an attack, being attacked on their home ground, or being presence of a powerful leader, their natural momentum will increase as well. So their natural momentum increases as well, reducing the total momentum the mercenaries have accumulated. Momentum. Let's see. Momentum during combat can be let's see. Allows the mercenaries a bonus bonus to determine their acting order during battle. Momentum during battle as a mercenary bonus to determine their initiative. This. Let's see. Initiative. Actually, combat is broken down into turns and rounds. A turn is an individual individual combatants, actions and abilities, while the round is the summation of every single turn of all of the current combatants. When combat When combat begins, the initiative order will need to be drawn up. Will need to be drawn up. So let me do a quick check. So when combat begins, the initiative order will need to be drawn up. Every combatant has a base initiative, of speed plus focus. A base initiative of speed plus focus. Combatant has a base initiative of speed plus focus. Speed plus focus actually has every mercenary's base initiative of speed plus focus. Which acts as their turn in the order in a descending order. At the start of a round, the mercenary may pay physical, or may pay mental or physical cores to increase their base initiative, for that round. However, the current momentum of the team, the current momentum will also be added to their initiative. Also be initiative for the final total. For example, Doc Wizard has a focus of 4 and speed of 3, meaning his base initiative is 7. At the start of the round, he uses two physical core to increase his initiative to 9. With his team's momentum, with the combat momentum being at +2 for his team, bringing him to a total of 11 initiative. Bring him to a total of 11 initiative. There we go. So we have a very basic idea of how this works. What aspect of Imperial Maledictum? Generally, I liked every part of Imperial Maledictum, really. But the superiority system is actually really, really good. Like, weirdly good, and it is incredibly well put together. And why I say that it's incredibly well put together is superiority system effectively says if you plan ahead for a fight, you will have an advantage on just about everything you do, and it'll cause the enemy to start panicking. The enemy will start having problems, and you can more easily defeat them at that point. What I should do is if the total momentum is above the morale. If the total momentum is above the morale of the enemy force, they will begin to take morale damage equal to the mental core of the enemy. They will begin to take mental damage equal. actually mental stress, I should say, mental stress equal to the difference. Should their mental core be reduced to 0, many will begin to rout terror, then face the enemy. However, if the mercenaries find themselves at negative momentum, being positive, the enemy, at negative momentum, they will begin taking emotional or mental core stress as they are chipped away under fire. Effectively, the idea is that, like, if you have good momentum, they're going to start running away. And this is kind of how it works in Imperial Maledictum. If they're going to start running away, they're going to start acting more rashly. Things are going to go bad for them. If you have a lot of, like, if they're having a lot of momentum, if they've seized the momentum against you, you're going to get fucked up pretty fast, because that's your mental's going down, your emotional's going down. You get to kind of choose, so there's a little bit of leeway there, but that's 2-3 damage every round. And that's something, like, you can't really get rid of. Go quick on the draw. For example, Dark Wizard. We put that right there. Is that really all we need for initiative? I think that's really all we need for initiative. I can put something right there. I might put this lower. Yeah, no, that works. So, something to G and I am, albeit sometimes I think albeit sometimes I think I have to add something to the game before doing this, because I don't want to use Necromunda as the campaign setting. Generally speaking, Necromunda should be relatively simple to adapt. The thing with Necromunda that would be difficult is you would need to give every single one of the gangs a little bit more to work with. So you would be doing a lot of background. I would say you'd be doing a lot more background stuff with the various gang features, because Necromunda gangs, because you kind of see, well, technically there's a lot more than the various gangs, but you get the idea. Because you'd be like, okay, how do we make an Orlok gang versus an Escher gang versus this? That would be the hard part, is that you would need to do that very particular thing. And how would you make these guys be very specific? That would take a little bit of work. But generally speaking, it shouldn't be too difficult, because you would just probably give them an extra trait or something, a trait or two. You would have to add Oghren, though. I don't actually... Necromunda, Oghren. Yeah, they have Oghren and Necromunda. Yeah, they've got Oghren. I like Oghren personally. They're probably some of my favorite additions to the 40k lore. I always find them fun. They're very interesting. Let's think. How do we want to do this properly? No, we want to do Rattling's Oghren, make some source book for the game. Yeah, probably. If you look hard enough, you could probably find already someone adapting them. They shouldn't be too difficult, because, like, Generally speaking, I mean, if we do like Oghren stats in it'd be only war that let you play an Oghren. Generally speaking, this is all you would need to do. Like, you wouldn't need to roll for wounds though. You would roll for these, and then you would have to start doing things like all of the this would be the hard part. But in short, it wouldn't be too difficult. There are more because there are yeah, navigators, squats, but squats are dead. Ratlings, Oghrens. Technically, there are like felonids. If you want to get really specific, like felonids are a thing in 40k. There's a bunch of like weird human like subspecies, and all these weird human subspecies that do sort of exist. This is technically what the felonids are supposed to look like. They're like, yes, these are humans. They're just weird ab-humans. Though, everyone likes to, the problem is everyone likes to display the felonids as, cat girls. Every single one of them is a weird cat girl, and that's just how things go. To quote, it is what it is. You don't want your weird cat girl waifus. Go for it. Nothing can stop you from playing a Khajiit in 40k. They exist in lore only. Yeah, they literally exist as like a side note. That's all they exist as, and that's enough for people to go nuts. Doesn't matter if they exist in lore only. They exist in the lore. Honestly, they could make a lot of money if they actually made IG models. They would make a lot of money if they made different IG models, but they don't. So I know they were trying to make, not Karskins. They were trying to make, Krieg. That's it. They were trying really hard to, like, push Krieg. Like, Krieg. Everyone likes Krieg. We must have more Krieg. But then that kind of died down because I think that was mostly to promote Kill Team. Hello, Uso. So yeah, that's my thing. I think they were just trying to make really trying to hype up Kill Team. I think it worked. People do like Krieg. I think Forge World actually went. I think Forge World, yeah, Forge World, I think went the way of the dodo. Yeah, I think Forge World actually went away. Fun fact. I think they put everything together on it. But like, there's a bunch of like Imperial. Let me do like Imperial Guard. There's Apocalypse. Apocalypse IG. Yeah, there's literally no Armageddon. That's what it's called. Yeah, welcome to the Armageddon Steel Legion. Yeah, the fucking Steel Legion. You have these fucking guys, which they would be pretty easy to make, but they never promoted them at all, so we never really got anything. Again, there's a lot of Imperial Guard types. Like, you gotta remember, all of the Astra Militarum, quote unquote, but like all of these guys are technically unique models. Though you can't get all of them. Generally, you can get Cadians, and you can get Cadians and Kriegers, and Catachan, of course, but Catachan's a little bit unique. Yeah, the Votons are technically the new squats, but the Votons are dumb. I don't care what anyone says. I think Voton lore is stupid. It's dumb. No one can change my mind on that. So let's see, during a conflict, when it is a mercenary's turn, they may actually during combat, if I can fucking spell, during combat, how do I want to word this? I want to word this nicely. During combat, actually, let's see. The mercenaries and their enemies will perform a series of actions. Will perform actions and reactions. Actions are the bedrock of a turn. Actually, no. Actions are the main. Or any other major action which takes place, or any other major action which takes place, major action which takes place. Reactions, fucking hell, this doesn't sound right at all. God damn it, fuck. Sounds real. I don't know why it sounds really to me. Something doesn't sound right. I don't like it when something sounds wrong. If something sounds wrong, it's making me think that there is something wrong with it. No, I'm overthinking it. It is a mercenary's turn. They are able to perform an action of their choice. This can be anything from action of their choice. Normally, every mercenary will only be able to perform a single action. But they can lower momentum by one. They can lower momentum by one to take a second action. Take a second action during their turn. So actually, let's see. Let's see. When the mercenary's turn, they're able to perform an action of their choice. Normally, every mercenary will only be able to perform a single action, but they can lower momentum by one to take a second action. Normally, they may reduce momentum, to take additional actions on their turn. When each mercenary every extra actions. Actually, no. Normally, every mercenary will perform a single action. They reduce momentum, take additional actions on turn. They actually, no. Yeah, so it's kind of you're using, you can sub out momentum for this. So momentum is kind of a valuable thing. I need to maybe add something different up here to make a note about that. So we've got the idea. Momentum take additional actions during their turn. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to take this because I like the way I have this set up. So I'm just going to take these so I don't forget about them. This, that button. This is quite literally just because I like the way that I have these tables set up, and I don't want to break them, and I have a strange, beautiful feeling that if I do, I will break them, and I will feel very, very sad. So, what are the exact actions we need to do? Well, first things first, we need to do what? We need to have attack melee, and we need to have an attack range, because these are very different from one another, so they're going to be separate. I'm going to make an attack, I want to strike. Actually, we can probably do actually we can call it a melee strike and a ranged attack. We can split them up a little bit, and just kind of the way that they go about things are a little bit different, so we want to split them up. We can do well, I think I'm adding a maneuver action. I think maneuvering is important because maneuvering is you moving to do something. We're just moving. Interacting. Hey, I want to interact with an object. It's your open action. The do whatever the fuck you feel like action. It's interact with an object. Actually, other is always important. What actions did I add? Magic. Cast a spell, because casting spells are very important. Maneuvering, interacting. We're using other actions. What else do we need to do? We need to defend. Like having a defense action would be, we can do a defend action. We're going to ground. We're doing some bonuses. We're effectively increasing the difficulty to hit us naturally. Like we're spending an action to do this. We aren't normally able to do this very well, but let's see. Please, I like to give so much Soviet standards. Because I don't see many complaints. Really, it reminds us of the franchise beginning in the 80s. What? What? Nopads watchers who also watch. A musician, someone playing Underrail DLC, someone's 5e campaign. Truly, hallmark of success. Algorithmic mislabeling. Gotta love it. Generally speaking, like Votan are weird. I'm gonna tell you all about Votan. Why I think Votan are dumb. The thing is, the leagues of Votan are like weird space dwarves. That's all they are. That's all the leagues of Votan were. They are space dwarves. They fit into the lore really weird. They're like, oh well, we're super hyper advanced and we gave the Tau all their technology. They all look goofy. Like, they all look like this, and they're all, like, it looks like it's part of a different fucking franchise. They look like they're part of fucking, like, War Machine or something. They just look weird, and everything's really boxy, and they could have been cool. Like, that's, I think, the worst part. They could have been interesting. Like if we go to like their vehicles and stuff, like these could have been like, oh well, the leagues of Votan are like these hyper like efficient guys. They're hyper efficient. They are built for kind of more kind of like fighting in different terrains and stuff. And you want to know where I think they should have fucking gone? Where they should have been? I think they should have been a Tau client race. I think that would have been an interesting development for the Tau, and give the Tau something to work with, as well as allow you to play Votan by themselves, as well as give that a little bit more to work with. So it's like, hey, we're playing the Leagues of Votan, which is kind of like a Tau sub-faction, so it's like, oh, I want to have Tau range, I want to have some metal in front of us, I kind of want to have our own thing. That could have been a lot more interesting. Like, it's kind of contrasting the designs as well. Where you have, you know, Votan are really efficient in their designs and Tau aren't. But like right now they're in this kind of like weird, like over-designed, like, yeah, they all look like fucking weird Lego vehicles to me. That's I think the best way to word it. They look like fucking Lego vehicles. Like I'm good. Like this looks goofy. This looks fucking stupid. And mind you, I'm gonna also say like Tau vehicle. Like this is gonna get contrast. Like Tau would look dumb, by the way. I'm not gonna say Tau don't look weird, but there's a different look to them. They have a very distinctive look. And I think that could have been interesting to see the contrast between the two and them working together and be like, haha, we've done this. But it's very, very weird, and I'm not a fan of Votan. They look silly. They look like they came from fucking StarCraft. That's the issue. The idea of the Image 6 sci-fi tech, ray gun shite, like, there's the Demiurge, by the way. They were squat, and they did nothing because they supposedly didn't care. Their battlesuit's the only thing with, like, cool power armor. Exactly, if they were, like, full-on power armor, that's why I think, like, they could have been interesting, like, kind of as, like, a sub-faction of the Tau, where it's like, oh, the Votan are, like, kind of, like, mimicking the Tau in some ways, but they're also, like, doing their own thing. It's like, yeah, battle suits and stuff like that. That could have been a fun, and they could have been another battlesuit faction, but they're like, no, we want to do that. You could say like, oh, well, they were supposed to be like an imitated like 60s sci-fi tech. That doesn't really fit with the rest of 40K though. That's kind of the issue. Because Imperial Guard vehicles, for example, like if we go to like Imperial Guard already have like the really hyper efficient, they're all like really boxy, they're tanky, they're, you know, they already have like a very distinctive look to them. And these are fine. They look goofy, but then, you know, they're still fine. Then even you get like Eldar vehicles, for example. Eldar vehicles are very sleek. They move very quick. You get a very distinct interpretation. Like this fucking thing can move. This thing can move fast. It's very sleek. It's very pretty in that regard. Let me think. It would be like orc vehicles. Like these things look like they're gonna fall apart at any moment. You know, they've got the teeth on, you know, they got the teeth on them. You know, you got the little shields up front. Again, like all the factions look very unique. Like if you were to say, oh hey, it's StarCraft, and like, yeah, okay, they look like they're from fucking StarCraft. That's not a good thing. That's not a thing that you should be rewarded for. Because StarCraft has very much its own identity. But like, yeah, it just, Votans didn't feel like they had an identity. It felt like they didn't have a purpose in the lore or like the table, really. Because I'm just like, oh wow, look, it's another vehicle heavy faction. Wow, we don't have those. Ooh, whole new world, guys. Let's see, melee strike, range attack, cast a spell, maneuver, interact, other, defend. What's some other things that we can do in the midst of combat? I guess this would be a game that would be appropriate for the grapple action. And I'm gonna do my very basic grapple action. Actually, assisting. Assisting is useful. No. Okay, so. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. So, assist. Assist. The mercenary. The mercenary. A to an ally in the same zone as them. The ally, ally has +1d, +1d twist to their next action from the assistant. To their next action. Actually, no. We use an item. That's another one. Use an item. No, interact. We can use that for interact. That's fine. I'm being a little bit, persnickety about that. So cast a spell. The mercenary prepares to cast a spell of their choice, choosing. First they will choose the spell word. They'll choose the spell word, a gesture, and a what are they calling it? Sigil? I think I called them a sigil. Glyph. They choose a word, a gesture, and a glyph. Glyph to use. From there, they will either cast the spell. They'll cast the spell as written, or they will need to make an attack. They'll need to make a what would be it'd be magician. So we're using the magician effect. They would need to make a will/focus. A will/focus plus wizard. A will or focus plus wizard check against the target's defense. If they are successful, they will deal damage or apply the effect of the spell. If they fail, they will the spell fizzles. In their hand. If they suffer a catastrophic failure. If they suffer a critical failure, a catastrophic failure, the spell backfire. The spell will backfire upon them. Yo. So defends. The mercenary puts up, goes to ground, goes to ground, goes to ground and prepares for the onslaught. They will increase their defense by +1 for the remainder of the round. They will increase their defense by +1 for the remainder of the round. If they were to let's see. Increase their defense by +1 for the remainder of the round. They may goes to ground, prepares for the onslaught. They will increase their defense by +1 for the remainder of the round. Grapple. The mercenary. Targeting an enemy within the same zone. May attempt to grapple the target. Both will make a body plus brawler. It would be brawler. Both will make a body plus brawler check. And the victor of this head-to-head we'll make a head-to-head check. Both will make a body plus brawler head-to-head check. Whoever is successful will choose one of these effects. Let's see. Yeah, we have plenty of space. Cool. Actually, back. We'll choose one of these effects, which is going to be a takedown. Takedown. The target is knocked prone. The loser is knocked prone. Knocked prone on the ground. The loser, I should say the victim. Be my victim. The victim is thrown into an adjacent zone. Of the victor's choice. Pin. The victim and Victor are locked together. With the victim taking 1d, with Victor taking body. Taking body damage, body physical stress. Actually, this would be let's see, the take success level it would be body plus SL. Yeah, grappling is fairly good. The issue is that it's opposed. It's like most melee, like how I kind of want most melee to be, is it's going to be opposed. And because it's opposed, you run the risk of getting pinned yourself, getting into a grapple. You run the risk of getting thrown yourself. So you don't really want to do that, and it's kind of a mix, like, ooh, like a little bit spooky there, a little bit unreliable. So interact. Ooh. Uses in item on their uses an item on their person or interacts with an object in the same zone interacts with the same object in the zone as them. The effects of the item / object are resolved immediately. It's like, hey, use an item, it does a thing. The mercenary moves to an adjacent zone of their choice. If they are currently in a zone with an enemy, and they do not actually no. Let's see. Moves to an adjacent zone of their choice. May choose to sprint instead. By reducing physical core by 1, but move two zones instead. Then we get to, so we've got this. Alright, so you can tap your physical core to move 2 zones, so you're moving a lot more consistently, you're moving a lot more fast. Oh, talk is always a good action as well. Like, the thing with like bandaging and healing and stuff like that, that's gonna be items. So it's like, it's not necessarily going to be like, make a medicine check. It's going to be like, no, you have a med kit. Use the medicine skill on yourself. You are bleeding. Yeah, so it's like, that's going to be item based. Because I think that's fair. Being like, hey, you are in a fight. You're going to have to take a moment, use an action, take a bandage out, and start bandaging yourself. That's going to take time. Someone else can interact with an object and apply it to someone in the same zone as them, of course. But again, it's an economy thing. It is an action to do something. So it's like improvising a bomb. Hey, that's an interact action. This is the beauty of having an interact or other action. Any question for like really hyper-specific things, all you can do is just say, use this fucking action. That's all it is. It's great. It's not called being lazy. It's called being efficient. Melee strike. Okay, melee strike's gonna be a little bit large, so we need to make this right. Chooses a target in the same zone as them. Let's say mercenary chooses a target in the same zone as them, and prepares to attack them with a melee weapon, fist. Or their right hook. Mercenary will take. Let's see. The mercenary will. The mercenary and the target. Let's see. Mercenary and the target will both make a brawler. It would be a body plus brawler. It'd be a body or speed plus brawler. Check head to head check. Whoever is successful has landed their attack against the target. Has landed their attack against the victim. Victim will take. The victim will take. The weapon damage. Take the weapon damage to their physical core. Or take a wound. We'll take weapon damage to their physical core. Yeah, that's all it is. It's retaliatory. I'm striking at you. We're making a head-to-head check. We're striking at one another. If the mercenary is attacking a unaware target, unaware enemy, unaware enemy, make a target number 0. They will make a target number 0 check instead, dealing damage as long as they roll a success. As long as they dealing damage automatically. Now, target number 0 effectively means you instantly succeed unless you roll a negative. If you roll a negative, then you fucking suck. But let's say, for example, I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's say I've got 8d6. That's going to be my check. My mercenary snuck up on someone, and he's going to attack them from behind. He's got his ice pick out. He's going to stab an evil super inquisitor in the back with his knife. And so he's going to roll. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 5 successes here. With my 5 successes, I would deal 5 plus whatever the knife's damage is, probably something like 2 or 3. So I've done 8 damage to them automatically, which if they reduce them to 0, it would be an instant kill. It would be just me stabbing you in the back, and I would have dealt with you automatically. You know, make a tia and say, There we go. Part of me wants to add an image there because, let's see, we've got just other and ranged attack. Actually, we're going to fit other in here. I think that's appropriate. Put range attack on the last page just so we can explain them a little bit better with a side note, maybe. Other. Let's see, performs an action not listed here, let's see. Certain actions like opening a door, shouting at an enemy, or let's see, certain actions like opening a door, or walking through a zone, or walking inside of a zone. Do not require an action. Do not require an action. However, if the mercenary wishes to dramatically kick down the door, or dive kick a innocent, or dive kick a or dive under some cover in the zone, then it would take a other action. That's like, there isn't really any rules for, other actions. They're just make a check. You're most likely going to be making a check. The other action. Then we do. So what we can do is we then reduce that to 0, so we make this really nice and pretty. I'll probably fix this up, make it look a little bit nicer, but hey, it works. Which does lead me though to ranged attacks. The mercenary takes aim with a ranged weapon of their choice. And takes the shot. The difficulty of the gunslinger actually be focus or I would say speed. Focus or speed plus gunslinger check is equal to difficulty of the focus or speed plus gunslinger check is equal to the target's defense to the target's natural defense. The target's current defense. If the target this is further modified by the twists. Let's see. This is further modified by twists gained or lost by certain conditions. Table. We need to do short range. Actually, point blank, short, long, far. Point blank, it would be same zone. Half listed zone. Actually, should be one zone. Listed range. Actually, how do I want to do that? Point blank, ideal range. Far range, horizon range. Point blank is always going to be -1D. Actually, -2D. Your point blank, this is not ideal for you. Ideal range is going to be -0. It's going to be far range -1D. Horizon range -3D. But the horizon is way far off. That's kind of the ideal. So same. So this would be same zone. Listed range. Over listed range. Double listed range. So if my range is 1, I can shoot to an adjacent zone, and that's my ideal range. It's over that. If I were to shoot 2 zones away, it would technically be horizon range. But if it's 2, if it's 4 zones away, so it's kind of like horizon range is like if it's really fucking far away, then yeah, it's going to be difficult for you to actually hit anything with it. So we do that. Which we can also add in. What do I want to add? What's oop, oh, I didn't mean to hit that button. What's this button? Oh, that's not the right button. Right button? It is the right button. Ha ha ha! It scared myself. Part of the lore I was writing up for the game that I will run my team is Mask at Sonic Order, ran things behind the scenes of America until the Civil War. Cover has health bar or ammo have piercing effect to fuck up cover. Not really going to be worth, you know. Okay, let's see. Also, does it have health bar or ammo piercing effect? Not really. Like cover is, since cover is just a feature thing. Like you are in cover, you are not in cover. So it's like, hey, if you want to do that, you need to kind of like, if someone's in like really deep ass cover, it's either you're going to get assistance, or you're going to need some. You're going to need to get, you know, into a better position, effectively. But anything heavy is like, you're gonna clearly know what's, you know, kind of heavy cover. How do I want to word this? Height advantage. Actually, no. It's just right. This ranges. That's all we need. If the mercenary is successful, they will take the target. The enemy will take the listed damage of the weapon. Let's see, if the mercenary is successful, the enemy will take the listed damage of the weapon. And any additional effects by the ammunition used. If the mercenary wishes to use, actually, I might just put that before. Let's see. If the mercenary wishes to use any additional, actually, the mercenary will always use. Let's see. Mercenary will always use one piece of ammunition per attack with a ranged weapon. Different tags affecting how much is possibly. If the mercenary may always always going to spend ammo. If the mercenary is successful, the enemy will take the listed damage of the weapon and any additional effects by the ammunition used. If the mercenary fails to hit, then the target, then the enemy lives another day as the shot ricochets nearby. As the shot goes wide and misses the target. How do I? Yeah. But what we can probably do is give feats and abilities to actually negate some of those problems. Being like, yeah, hey, you are just a fucking good shot. You know, cover doesn't, like, you just get a bonus twist. Let's go. We've got what range attacks do. We're going to actually have to do reactions. Reactions are not going to have. We're not going to have as many reactions. We're only going to have like 4 or 5. But when a okay, how do I want to word this? How do I want? What's a good way of wording this? What's a good way of wording this? When a during combat, combatants, the mercenaries and their enemy. Mercenaries are able to take reaction. A reaction occurs when it is not the mercenaries, or it is not the mercenaries' turn, but an action happens around them. This allows the mercenary an extra edge to protect themselves or punish their enemies in the heat of the fight. Each mercenary, each merc only has a single reaction per round. Similar to actions, they may spend momentum to take additional reactions if they wish. Very simple. Like, hey, pretty much when it's not your turn, you're able to take a reaction, and these are going to be we want to do a disengaging strike. Easy enough to do. It's pretty much punish leaving enemy. We want to have a go to ground ability, kind of like an emergency defense, you could call it. But the emergency defense is going to be effectively, you get it for one attack. That's your like, fuck, oh no. Let's see, we're going to have a actually, we can do counter shot, pot shot at an enemy at range. We can actually do counter attack. If you get, this is going to be attack at so it's like even if you fail it, you can just immediately make a retaliatory attack. Like you're just making another melee attack at them. Again, you're burning a reaction to do such, but you can technically get 2 attacks on someone, or you can get your shit punched and you punch them right back, or they can punch you a second time. Again, you're just making an actual, just legitimate attack here, but you only get 1 per round. What other ones are really going to be solid? You can't cast spells. I'm trying to think of something else reaction worthy. There's not really anything else reaction worthy. Yeah, no. That should be fine. Very simple stuff. You don't really need to worry about it too much. Again, if something doesn't happen, it's fine to not take a reaction. This is fine. It's okay to not take a reaction. It's not like the world's gonna fall apart. You know, like, hey, you know, it's not taking a reaction. World is not falling apart. You are just not doing something. And we could do a breathe. We could give them a breather. Yeah, I think give it. Oh. Okay, so breather. the end of the round, if the reaction has not been used at the end of the round, increase 1 core by plus 1. Increase 1 core by 1. By 1, this cannot fix wounds. This cannot fix wounds. Or yeah, this cannot fix wounds. So it's kind of like the, hey, you're getting a little bit back if you're doing absolutely nothing. You're gonna get something back. Counter attack. If the mercenary was attacked in melee, they will attacked in melee, regardless of if they hit or not. They will make a melee. They'll make a melee strike at the target who struck at who attacked them and resolve it as normal. Counter shot. If the mercenary was attacked at range, regardless if the attacker hit or missed, they will the mercenary, the merc, makes a ranged attack at the target and resolves as normal. So it's kind of like the boom 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 boom. We can blast each other pretty quickly and resolves as normal. Disengaging strike. If an enemy is attempting to maneuver out of the zone that the mercenary inhabits, they may stop them from maneuvering. They may stop them from moving. With a head-to-head body plus what would be a good skill team? Brawler would be the obvious option. I would say they can use Brawler or Gangster. Body plus Brawler. Body plus Brawler or Gangster. Kind of like you're receiving them. You're like, haha, I'm not letting you leave because I'm an asshole. Normal. Go to ground for one attack. The mercenary increases their defense by +1. By +1, or gains +1d if it is a melee attack. Actually, what we can do, there we go. So it's kind of like you're getting like one thing, but I should do but cannot retaliate. There we go. That's the catch. They can't retaliate, which really sucks. If you're a melee guy, you want to retaliate because that's half the point. But denying them the retaliation if they go do an emergency defense, I think that's fair. Like, yep, you're being attacked. You can declare if you're going to be doing this. And, they are attacking you. Actually, for one attack that has been declared, the mercenary may increase. So you're effectively saying, hey, no, I don't want to get hurt for this, or hey, no, I do not want to get my face beat off. Beat off? No, that's a bad way of wording. I don't want to get punched in the face, or I don't want to get shot. I'm increasing my defense, or I'm increasing my ability to defend myself just a little bit. By much, but something. So what we should do is we and immediately go to disaster strikes. Disaster strikes. The mercenary has been hit with an attack, and they have suffered some stress. What occurs? And they have suffered some damage. What occurs? When a mercenary takes damage, they will take physical stress, reducing their physical core by the value of the attack. Should their physical core reach zero, they will take a physical wound instead. If the mercenary is wearing protective gear, such as protective gear, they may reduce the physical stress they would take normally in combat. Normally in combat. Let's see, if the mercenary is wearing protective gear, they will reduce the physical stress they would normally take. They would take normally in combat. But not all armor, not all damage is equal. Not all damage is equal or defended against easily. Every attack will have a damage type. Which can be augmented by a variety of factors. Let's see, which can be augmented by a variety of factors such as abilities, spells, or equipment. No abilities, spells, or let's say abilities, equipment, or spells. Armor can reduce stress from certain kinds of damage, but not every kind of damage they may find themselves taking. There are in total when a damage type is applied, they will if a mercenary is strong against has resistant to a damage type, they will reduce any stress they have toward it by half before reducing it further by any armor they have. So, for example, if Doc Wizard is resistant to cold damage, if he was hit by a freeze ray for 10 stress, he would only take 5 stress. Contrary, on the other hand, let's see, the opposite reaction is having a weakness toward a damage type, which would double the damage the it would double the stress it would induce to it would deal to the target. Using the above example, if Doc Wizard was weak to cold damage, he would have taken 20 damage, 20 stress instead. Youch. Youch. Okay, damage types. Fire, cold, electro. Fire, cold, electro. I mean, what kind of damage types? Tell me more about damage types. I wish to know more. Psychic damage. Alright, so it's psychic damage. Acid damage. Necrotic. Necromatic. Time damage is a thing we have to worry about. I'm trying to think of like the various damage types. Well, when in doubt, Persona 5 damage types. Tell me more about damage types in Persona. Tell me more. I want to learn more about Persona 5 damage types. Oh yes, I forgot. Gun. Physical. I mean, physical is pretty easy to understand. Wind, nuclear. Actually, I know what we can do. If the mercenary chooses to make an attack with a weapon that deals a special kind of damage, and makes it a critical moment, they will inflict the critical effect of the damage type as well. Psychic, necromatic, a time, physical, nuclear, diesel, curse damage, of course. Radiant. Mm. Target has the slow condition. Target has the cursed condition. Takes an extra D6. Takes an additional 1D damage. Electro. Has the stunned condition. No, what would that? Is he a flame condition? What would be a particularly nasty effect here? This would be target loses 1 from all core. Actually loses 1D. Loses 1D from all cores. Nuclear physical core. Or physical yeah, diesel. Something is diesel powered. Something is physical powered. What would the target of the credit take rolling D6 of damage? Let's see. Would the target of necrotic take rolling D6 of damage? Yes, 1D. I do explain the idea of 1D. We don't really do 1D6 or anything like that. I just do 1D. Effectively, the scary thing with necrotic damage is that it's not really doing 1d6 damage. It's doing 3d6 damage. Except it's 1d6 to your emotion, 1d6 to your mental, 1d6 to your physical. It's actually very dangerous. But necromantic is also like, you probably don't want to give your heroes necromantic weapons, because that's a little bit fucked up. They're probably going to be fucking evil. 2D from a mental core. Radiant. Target has the blind condition. Time. Target cannot cast spells. Description. A freezing touch to hamper movement. Curse. The lingering doom of the situation finally hits the target. A pneumatic hammer to crush. I shouldn't say. Actually, it should be a pneumatic hammer. The pneumatic. Shocking, I know. No, the diesel powered strike crushed all beneath its iron fist. Relation. I fucking spell that right because I'm a fucking idiot sometimes. Body and soul. Mm. Mm. Wasting curse to devour a target from the inside out. Mm. Mm. Power of the atom. Of the atom. Power of the atom. The target takes. Target takes damage. +2 extra +2 stress. Powerful hit for a more civilized age. Nothing but the basics. Psychic. Targeting the mind just as much as the wherewithal of the target. Flash of the future is often met with the blinding radiance of the sun. Time. Target cannot cast spells for 2D. For 2D rounds. Manipulating the chronosphere. The localized chronosphere. The chrono manipulation abilities of a target. No, otherwise known as fuck you, I don't want you casting any spells. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. That's that ability. Hey, you're playing a wizard? No, you're not. Fuck you. Go away. No one likes your wizard shit. So we've got the very basics of damage. Generally speaking, this is the thing. Generally speaking, most characters are going to end up with things like this: electro, fire, physical, a lot of physical, and like radiant abilities, sometimes some time stuff. Getting items that are like necromantic is dangerous. It's expensive, it's dangerous, and remember, you always have to make a critical roll with this. The problem with critical rolls is you can roll negatives. You can actually catastrophically fail a check with these. And if you catastrophically fail, it doesn't matter how good you are, you actually just lost that entire action, and something probably bad has happened. So that's kind of the and D take the worst option. Would curse make them have to reroll stuff? I don't know yet. Is nuclear also bad? Yeah, nuclear is really bad because the thing is, like, I don't want, like, a lot of the damage is not going to be like a really high amount of damage. That's one of the big things. Most things, like, base damage is going to be like 1 or 2. Some might even be 0. Like, you legitimately do no damage unless you score some actual successes on them. The thing, though, with nuclear is that nuclear is going to do 2d6 damage right off the bat. It could do 2 damage, or it can do 12 damage. And to give you an idea, Doc Wizard is a fairly strong guy. He has 7 physical. Like, this is on top of all the other damage, too. Like, nuclear is like, oh, you're being hit by something to give you cancer rays. Like, you're not having a good time. Like, so even, like, using a nuclear weapon is going to be incredibly expensive, it's going to be incredibly dangerous, and it's not going to be as valuable as you think. But hey, we're fighting something big, we're fighting something scary, we're fighting something that's going to maul us. What do? We're going to use every tool we have. And of course, I'm going to draw my nuclear-powered pistol and blow your head off with it. Now, counter this, casual. Parry this, asshole. Doc nuclear, wild. Doc's breaking up inside. I'm nuclear. So we've got some very basic conditions, of course. I still gotta do fucking mail. Let's see. So what I'm gonna do with conditions, we're gonna write down. We're gonna get this section. I've been streaming for 3 hours, so I'm gonna call it here after we get conditions done. I still got some more stuff to do. I can work on that in the meantime. So, how do I want to do that? Bring the battle through features, or let's see, through features, abilities, or feats, or abilities, feats, or even ammunition, or even and damage, the during the battle through features, abilities, feats, or damage, the may be afflicted by various conditions which change the nature of their approach. Change the nature of their approach and the desperate attempt to rectify the situation before it consumes them. Sometimes literally. Conditions do not stack. Conditions do not conditions do not stack. And if there is a timer on them, it will always be at the end of the round. It will always be at the end of the round. Conditions do not stack. There's no timer on them, and it will always be at the end of the round. If a target were to gain multiple of the same condition, it does not increase the effect or deal any additional problems. It's kind of like I want to reinforce like this doesn't fucking stack. And if there's a timer on them, and if you get hit multiple times with it, it's not like it's going to do anything more. It's just what we can do actually. Actually, what we can do, not be at the end of the round. Reaction has not been used by the end of the round. Actually, no. We want to do ooh. All right. We got a weird situation here. Oh, actually, I know what we can do. Let's see. The mercenary takes a moment and attempts it would be focus or and attempts a check. Attempts a doctor check to remove a condition from them. If they are successful, it is removed. It is removed. If they are not, it is not. Boom. Easy. I'm a fucking genius. Don't worry, everyone. I can do this. So, what conditions do we need to add? Because we're going to add every condition. Each condition has a heal. Has a section. Each condition has a heal stat. To represent which. As a heal trait, which reflects which trait paired with doctor is required to treat the condition. And treat the condition by the one affected by it mid combat. If an ally wishes to assist, then they may use the heal trait. They may use the heal trait or smarts to assist their ally to recover cover. Okay, you know what we're doing. We are fixing things, so we want to do heal trait. That we do this, we do this, and we're going to do condition. We have, which one do we have? We have slow, cursed, stunned, aflame, blind. What would be some other ones that we can do? Well, we can also add in some good things. Invigorated. Invigorated being like, hey, you've been perked up. Something good is happening. You're feeling great. Actually, resistant, weakened. Weakness. Actually, be resistant damage. Weakness. Damage. These would technically be conditions, so we'll put them on there. What would be some other conditions that we can think of? Actually, no. Panicked. Panic is going to be unique, and I'm going to put a note on there being like, panic is not like your mental is lost. It's like something is causing you to be unnaturally scared. Like, this is like a, oh no, I'm like, my body is panicked. Or bullish. What do you mean by bullish? Actually, I know what we can do. Vigor. Not vigor. Immortal. Immortal is going to be kind of a funny one. It's just going to be like, you just shrug off damage. And that's all that's going to happen. You don't take any damage. Because you're immortal. But it's like, yeah, actually, no, it'd probably be like, you're immortal for like one attack. You get hit once, your immortality is gone, but you resist 20 damage, goes down to 0. Quickened. Quickened's a good one. Quickened is a good one. Fatigued. Fatigued. Would be some. Well, let's look. What can we interact with? What can we interact with? Actually, no, we can add drained. Drained, we can just be like, yeah, you're drained. You can't use magic right now. Rag, maneuver. distorted. Um. Actually, we can do agony. Yeah, bullish could be. Yeah, bullish could work. I like bullish. Bullish. Enraged. Enraged would be a good one. Enraged would be a good one. God no, it's not distorted. What do we want to do? I don't know. Let's. I mean, these. It's not like this is a small amount of fucking conditions, by the way. I mean, we've got slow, cursed, stunned, lame, blind, invigorated, resistant, and damage, resistant. Actually, no, it'd be weakness. If I can fucking spell weakness, damage. Immortal, quickened, the quickening, fatigued, rained, distorted, agony, bullish, enraged. Yeah, I think this should work. Okay, so I'm gonna write these all in. Let's see. This would be focus, agony. You are in just absolute pain. Something has gone wrong and you're not feeling very good at all. That would be focus as well. Blind would be smart. Actually, no. This would be, well, bullish. That's pretty much is a positive effect, so I'm just going to put in positive. But you don't really want to clear that. Cursed is going to be will. Distorted is going to be smarts. Drained is going to be will. Enraged is going to be focused. Get your shit together. This is going to be body, actually. This is going to be positive. This is positive. This is positive. We don't really want to clear those. That's kind of the idea. You don't want to clear them, but if you want to, I'm going to probably put a note in the bottom there. I mean, like, if you want to clear them, it would just be a smarts check. You know, it's just use whatever trait you want to clear them. But why would you? Resistant. Resistant damage. This is technically positive. Slow would be speed. Stunned would be focus. Weakness would be smarts, I feel. Kind of like, yeah, I'm shaking off my weakness. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Enfeebled. Bleeding, that's one I forgot. I knew I was forgetting something. Bleeding. Bleeding would just be smarts, though. Bleeding would be smarts. We'll do feebles. That would be smarts. Actually, enfeebled. There we go. I think this is a good amount. We got a lot of toys to play with here. Actually, D6. They take 1D. To all cores. At the end of the round, because yeah, you're taking 1d damage to everything because you're fucking on fire. Like, uh-oh, I don't want to be on fire anymore. This sucks. Mm. 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 Round blind. Mm. 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 Let's see. They cover 1d in mental or emotional. Could be emotional or mental. In emotional damage or mental core at the end of the round. Curse. I don't really know yet with curse. I have a few ideas. Don't really know with that one. Actually, is out of time. They cannot use spells or be. Actually, no. They cannot use any gestures or gifts. For their spells, which is really bad, by the way. It's like, yeah, you can't use any. You can use spells, but they're like you can't use any gestures or glyphs. Enfeebled. Actually, no, I know. They cannot use their physical core for abilities. Enraged. Let's see. It is barely staying upright. They cannot use their emotional core for abilities. Immortal. Let's see. Rush of blood. They recover 1+1d in physical core. Physical core at the end of the round. Quickened. When maneuvering, when actually no using maneuver action may move a second time for free. Actually may sprint. Free sprint resistant damage. All maneuver actions. Let's see. All maneuver actions cost 1 physical core to use. If you don't want to get anywhere, it's just like, yeah, you gotta start putting that on. The nervous system is acting up. Then all actions require one of any core use until let's see. Require 1 of any core to use. I'll come up with the two later. I've got a few ideas, but top of my head right now. Okay, I'm gonna call it there. Boy Notepad's a little tired, so he's gonna go. He is going to make dinner, and he's going to then write a script for a video tomorrow, because that's what I said I was going to do. So, thank you very much for following. Godspeed, good luck. Love you all. Kissu kissu, you know the rest. Thank you all for following. I am, as they say, away.